Welcome to the HR Kyle podcast, your go-to source for insightful discussions on leadership, job searching, and all things human resources. I'm your host, HR Kyle, and each week we dive deep into topics relevant to professionals seeking to elevate their careers and organizations. Whether you're a seasoned leader, a job seeker navigating the ever-changing landscape of employment, or an enthusiast looking to stay ahead of the curve, this is the podcast for you. Join me as we explore practical strategies, share expert insights, and engage in meaningful conversations that empower you to succeed in today's dynamic workplace. So, adjust your headphones and let's dive in. Welcome to the HR Kyle podcast, where we dive deep into the latest trends, best practices, and thought-provoking discussions in the world of work. I'm your host, HR Kyle, and I'm thrilled to have you join us today. In today's episode, we have a power-packed lineup focusing on the transformative power of giving back to the community. This is a topic that's increasingly gaining traction in the corporate world, and for good reason. From boosting employee engagement and satisfaction to enhancing skill development and brand image. Fostering a culture of giving back has profound benefits for both employees and organizations. In our first segment, I'll be discussing the importance of offering employees a chance to donate and give back to the community. We'll explore how structured programs, incentives, and leadership involvement can create a culture of giving that benefits everyone involved. From enhancing employee engagement to building a stronger brand, giving back is a powerful tool for any forward-thinking organization. In our second segment, we'll have a special guest joining us. We'll be speaking with Andy, the CEO of Uncommon Giving, a company dedicated to making it easier for organizations and their employees to give back. Andy will share his insights on how their platform is helping businesses integrate philanthropy into their corporate culture and the impact it's having on communities and workplaces alike. So stay tuned for an enlightening episode that will leave you inspired and ready to make a difference in your own organization. We'll be right back after this short break. Greetings, I'm Kyle Smith, and I'm here to offer you a speaking experience that goes beyond the ordinary. With a rich background in leadership, HR, and personal development, I bring a unique blend of expertise and passion to every presentation. Whether it's Leadership Unleashed, well-being at work, or career mastery, I delve into topics that empower individuals and organizations to reach their fullest potential. What sets me apart? Proven expertise, an engaging delivery style, and actionable insights that drive positive change. But here's the kicker. I don't just offer a one-size-fits-all approach. I customize my content to meet the specific needs and goals of your event. So let's elevate your event together. Contact me now to reserve your date and unlock the full potential of your audience and organization. Don't miss out on the opportunity to inspire greatness. Visit hrkyle.com today. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that brief intermission. Let's dive right into our first segment on the transformative power of giving back. This practice is not only beneficial for the community, but also has significant positive impacts on the employees and the organizations itself. The act of giving back isn't just a noble endeavor. It benefits both the giver and the receiver. When companies create avenues for employees to engage in philanthropic activities, they unlock a dual set of benefits. Numerous studies have shown that employees who feel connected to a greater purpose are more engaged, motivated, and loyal to the organization. When employees are given the chance to contribute to their communities, they often experience a sense of pride and fulfillment that transcends their daily work tasks. This sense of purpose can significantly enhance job satisfaction and reduce turnover rates. In essence, employees who give back feel valued and appreciated, not just as workers, but as human beings. Volunteering and community service offer incredible opportunities for skill development and team building. Whether it's organizing a charity event, leading a fundraising campaign, or mentoring an underprivileged youth, these activities can help employees develop leadership, communication, and project management skills. Additionally, working together outside the typical office environment fosters stronger relationships and a sense of camaraderie among team members. It breaks down silos and encourages collaboration, creativity, and mutual respect. Fostering a culture of giving back is a cornerstone of effective corporate social responsibility. In today's socially conscious world, companies are increasingly judged not just by their product and services, but by their contributions to society. When businesses actively support community initiatives, they enhance their brand image, attract socially minded customers, and build trust and loyalty among stakeholders. Communities benefit from corporate resources and expertise, while companies strengthen their reputation and market position. The psychological benefits of giving cannot be overstated. Acts of generosity have been linked to reduced stress, increased happiness, and a greater sense of overall well being. When employees are encouraged to donate their time, money, or skills, they often report feeling more grateful and empathetic. These positive emotions can create a more positive and productive work environment where employees are more supportive, understanding, and motivated to collaborate. Creating a culture of giving starts with leadership. Leaders must not only endorse, but actively participate in community initiatives. By setting an example, they inspire others to follow suit. Companies should provide structured opportunities for giving back, such as paid volunteer days, matching donation programs, or partnerships with local nonprofits. Recognizing and celebrating employees' philanthropic efforts is also crucial. When employees see that their contributions are valued, they are more likely to continue and deepen their engagement. Now let's talk about some practical steps for implementation. Number one, establish clear programs. Develop clear and structured programs that outline how employees can participate in giving back. This includes scheduled volunteer days, charity drives, or fundraising events. Number two, offer incentives. Encourage participation by offering incentives such as matching donations, paid volunteer time, or public recognition. And number three, collaborate with nonprofits. Form partnerships with local nonprofits and community organizations to provide diverse opportunities for employees to get involved. Number four, promote inclusivity. Ensure that giving programs are inclusive and accessible to all employees, regardless of their role or their location. And number five, communicate and celebrate. Regularly communicate the impact of employees' contributions and celebrate their efforts through internal communications and events. In conclusion, offering employees the chance to donate and give back to the community is essential for any organization striving for long-term success. It creates a workplace where employees feel connected, valued, and inspired. And it builds a brand that stands for more than just profits. And it certainly makes a positive impact on the world around us. Let's embrace the transformative power of giving back and create a brighter, more compassionate future for all. Well, folks, we need to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere because when we come back, we're going to be talking with our guest, Andy, and the work his organization does to make it easier for companies and their employees to support their favorite causes.
Are you striving to lead your team to success? Or perhaps you're navigating the complexities of the job market. Introducing The Solution, the HR Kyle YouTube channel. Your go-to source for insightful guidance and practical tips. With short 1 to 2 minute clips, our videos save you time while delivering impactful, usable strategies. From effective leadership techniques to mastering the job application process, access valuable advice in minutes. Don't miss out. Subscribe to the HR Kyle channel on YouTube today.
Hello, fellow professionals. Are you ready to revolutionize your approach to recruiting? I'm HR Kyle, and I'm thrilled to introduce you to my latest book, Recruiting is Easy, now available on Amazon and other online retailers. In today's dynamic HR landscape, it's all about strategic branding and engagement. My book unveils the secrets to crafting exceptional employee experiences, attracting top talent, and fostering strong connections. With Recruiting is Easy, you'll master the art of continuous improvement and adaptability, shaping the future of work one relationship at a time. Get your copy today and unlock the potential of HR as a strategic powerhouse. Remember, recruiting should be easy. I'm HR Kyle, and together, let's redefine recruiting. Look for Recruiting is Easy on Amazon and other book online retailers. Welcome back to segment 2 of the HR Kyle podcast. Today's topic is about the power and the value of companies supporting their favorite causes and giving back. Now, our guest today is Andy, and Andy is CEO of a company that supports individuals and organizations in their efforts of giving back and supporting their favorite causes. Andy, welcome to the HR Kyle podcast.
Thanks, Kyle. I'm so happy to be here. I really appreciate it. I always love to talk about engaging employees in something as powerful as generosity.
Wonderful. Well, we're certainly glad to have you. Andy, I'll start it off easy tonight for you. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am basically a recovering technology attorney. I did a lot of software work and technology work as a young professional and got the opportunity to go to work for a software company that catered to the nonprofit space called Blackbaud a while ago. And that was my first foray into really supporting nonprofits through technology. It was a fantastic opportunity for me. And I was really motivated by that. After working there, I got to work for a company that supported benefit administration for employees and really did it in, what I would consider a way to be engaging and supporting of employees. And then shortly after that, both really fun runs for me, I got to work for a company called Benevity that kind of tied it all together. And they're the leader in the space that we're going to talk about today. Now they do work for really, really large companies, but they really sort of tied together this concept of employee engagement through social impact, let's call it, or community engagement. And I learned a lot about that, and I thought, what a powerful way to support your employees. After that, I got to work for a couple of other software companies that served nonprofits directly, one called Kindful and one called Bloomerang. And then we found our way to Uncommon Giving, where we got to get involved, and I'll tell you a little bit of the story about that later. But it gave me an opportunity to take all of what I've learned about the power of generosity, philanthropy, and employee engagement and employee experience and tie it together in this platform that we have that we think is pretty innovative and easy to use.
Well, Andy, great story, and thank you for sharing that with our audience. And I think I shared with you the first time that we talked. I was very impressive with how this all evolved and how you reached this point in your career. So thank you for sharing it. But as you shared, you're the CEO of Uncommon Giving.
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your organization and where the motivation to form that company came from?
Yeah. Real quickly on the software, we really think about ourselves as a generosity platform for companies to simplify workplace giving and volunteering. So really enabling employers to live their corporate values, improve their employee morale, enhance their brand reputation by all the goodness that they're doing in their communities, and engage their employees with this platform that we built that we consider to be a modern, very cost-effective set of tools that allows employees to impact the causes that they care about personally, and then also gives employers a lot of different ways to support their employees in those personal choices. And we'll talk about why we think that's motivating and engaging. The history of Uncommon, it was founded by some folks that were very successful in banking and were very generous. And they ran a bank, and they really infused the culture of that bank with their generosity and philanthropy and community impact and just doing good for others. And they thought that was a big part of their success, and data would say that it was. So after that experience, they decided to really put this platform together and start Uncommon Giving to try to make that available in a cost-effective, easy way to use for other businesses to do the same thing. And along the way, I got to meet the founders. As you know, as I said earlier, I'm highly motivated by this type of employee engagement and community impact. And so I got to become involved. And I've been the CEO for the last couple of years. And we've been delivering it to companies to do just the same thing.
Well, thank you for sharing that, Andy. And I think I've made no secret about this when you and I have talked. And one thing that I admired about you and really stood out for me is you're one of those CEOs that walks the walk. You're not just the CEO of this company. You truly believe in what you're doing and the impact that can be made. And that's something I want to make sure I share with this audience. This is something that you live. You're not just the CEO and running the company. This is something that really runs through your soul.
I think we all want to walk the talk. You know, we all have our sets of core values. We're sort of in business for a reason. You know, I've talked to many entrepreneurs, and so many things that I've found that they have in common is they're very grateful for their success. They want to have a feeling of giving back, and because they feel like their success was, not just something that they did individually, but something that they were very fortunate to have. And then, of course, they love their employees, and they want to treat them right. So they want to give them, all the benefits and perks and professional development opportunities that they can give them. And they want to keep them there. They want to retain them. They want to make sure that they are satisfied with their job and happy with their job and very productive. And all that kind of weaves together in creating a great business that is something that can be sustainable, but a great culture and a great employee experience along the way. And so I really appreciate you saying that. Yeah, we definitely believe in living our values and walking the talk.
Yep, no question. And I've gotten that from you every time we've talked. And I'm reminded of two quotes that I say quite frequently in my interactions. One, life is a team game, and you're absolutely, you're certainly living that. And I think the organizations that you partner with live that as well. And then the other one is, if much is given, much is expected. And again, those themes run through the discussions that we've had. And I think, again, the companies that you partner with.
Well said.
Andy, where do you believe employee giving and volunteering rank in importance relative to an employee's experience with their employer?
Well, as you can tell, I would probably say it's very high, but really for a number of reasons. Some practical. First and foremost, I think it's probably the simplest and most powerful thing that a company can do for its employees, compared to all those other tools that we know about in the HR profession, in terms of driving engagement. When you give somebody the ability to positively impact something that they care personally about, it just goes straight to the human element. So there's, all this chemistry about who we are. People want to help others, and that creates chemical reactions in them. I mean, it creates oxytocin, makes people happier. It releases stress. So it just happens to be one of those things that I think all of our DNA is built for. So if we can deliver that as management teams, if we can give our employees a way to, impact something that they personally care about, it gives them, sort of a sense of purpose. It gives them a really good feeling of support from their employer. Hey, my employer cares about what I care about. It just drives all kinds of powerful things. And we can talk about some stats, a little bit later. A second piece on that engagement front is something that we talked about a little bit earlier. All businesses care about their community, and they care about being good corporate citizens, and they know that that's important not only to their employees, but also to their customers. So there's some good practical business aspects to it, but it's really the right thing to do. And if you put together a nice program, like we talk workplace giving and volunteering, it's a great way to show and evidence that you're really living those corporate values, so that it's not just talk, it's not just words on a website. And I just point out one other area that I think people sometimes overlook, but is right in front of our face. If we give our teams, our coworkers, opportunities to volunteer in the community together, it really gives our teams the opportunity to get to know each other in a different way. So creating better relationships with each other, possibly doing something that develops their skills. So maybe they're on a board of an organization, or maybe they're in the accounting team and they get to go do bookkeeping for a nonprofit. There's just a lot of benefits to the employer that come in terms of employee engagement from getting out into the community and doing something with your teammates. And in this world of remote work, you just don't get to see everybody in the same way that we used to, and build and foster those relationships of trust. And so, volunteering, we do talk about workplace giving and charitable donations and so forth, but really just the act of going out and doing something good for something that resonates with the team personally together drives a whole different level of camaraderie and translates into morale, retention, engagement, productivity, all those things.
100%. And, I think of my work, and, I've shared with you, and this audience knows a significant portion of my day-to-day work involves recruitment and retention. Mm-hmm. And I can assure you a large percentage of the potential employees that I speak to are very interested, very curious, and very engaged around the topic of community involvement, giving back. They want to know about it. And I think, to your point, they're looking for tangible evidence, not saying, well, we've got this statement on the wall that says we do this. They want to know, where are you? How much time? What are you doing there? What kind of an impact you're making? And I get that question quite frequently. The other thing I like about your platform and what you promote, this is one of the few employee activities, for lack of a better term, that doesn't limit employees. So you'll have some where it's, they go out to social events or there's sporting events and so on. Well, that always appeals to some percentage of your workforce. But what you talk about is an activity or something they can participate in that's literally open to anyone, regardless of age, regardless of any sort of physical limitations or what have you. Every employee can be a part of these activities, and, to your point, connect with others in the organization on that.
That's right. And we have, we can talk about a little bit more about the platform specifically, but we have every 501c3 in the IRS master database if they're in good standing, and we do a lot of vetting of them. But a lot of ways for people to search and find things that resonate with them if they don't know. Volunteer opportunities curated from aggregators. Of course, we love when the companies themselves have basically some type of all companies have their volunteer champions. If you just ask or survey your employees, you're going to find people that are highly motivated by that. And maybe they can even take over some of the ownership and administration of a program like this, so it's not completely top down. And that's when it really clicks, when it's employee owned and employee managed. It becomes just part of the grassroots of the culture. And then those folks are going to help come up with the opportunities to get everybody together. And you won't have to find out. You won't have to guess what people care about. You'll see it in the data.
Yep, great point. In a role in HR, I can speak to that directly. That's the beauty of all of this. I'm not having to take a survey. I'm not having to sit at my desk and think, okay, what are people here going to be most interested in? The data tells us, and then we just simply follow that data, and there's no better way to meet employee demand or their wants and needs better than having the data right in front of you that tell you what they're interested in. And Andy, speaking of that, as you see more employers adopt your platform, what are you seeing from employee participation and truly giving back?
Yeah, we've been so pleased with it. I think we've had really nice high participation both in giving and volunteering, and just I think foundationally comes down to particularly in the United States, but even beyond. We're a really charitable group of people. The U.S. giving is unbelievably resilient and grows really every year. So people are giving anyway. So people want to help others. So what we say is provide them with a platform like this where they can give to the things they care about very easily. They can volunteer in the community very easily. And not only that, but they get to keep all that. It's a personal experience. So they get to keep all that history in their account. They get to follow the charities that they care about through social feeds and keep up with what's going on there. So basically, it's just an easy way. Let's just say it's kind of a Venmo-like giving experience and a volunteering experience where you can take your pictures of you and your teammates doing great things, tell your stories, and you get to keep all that for life in your account. And to participation, we've just been so amazed at what employers have come up with through the platform. So obvious things like matching their employees' gifts. So as a business owner, as an executive team, I'm sure the company is giving money away and through a charitable donation budget. If you take some of that budget and instead of giving away directly, just match your employees' donations so that whatever they give is actually doubled or more to the cause of their choice, you're really sending a message to your employees that we care about what you care about. And that support just is so powerful. And employers will match volunteer hours just like they match dollars, which is really great because some people have time and not as much money, or some people are more inclined to give money than time. But you want to be very equitable about it. A lot of employers are giving volunteer time off now, which I'm sure you know about and probably do. And so all these things people are coming up with to support their employees basically desire to impact the things they care about. And just one last thing that our platform enables, which companies have come up with great ways to do it, is we call it our transfer capability. But basically, if all of your employees have this employee experience through Uncommon, we would call it a wallet or just your employee experience. They'll come up with like say on a Giving Tuesday, they'll just take some money and they'll just transfer a little bit into everybody's wallet that morning. Everybody gets this happy email from the Uncommon platform. You've got $25 in your account. Go give it to something that you care about. And so we watch these people go take the money that the company gave them to give to a charity that they personally cared about. And then they get on the instant, the messaging tool that the company uses, Slack or Teams or whatever, and tell their story. I got to give this money to this charity. This is its mission. This is why it's important to me. And they have these great culture days. So all of that stuff drives participation, gives people that good feeling of giving, and lets them, and it's like anything else that feels good, makes you want to do it again. And so I think that's, just some examples of how we've seen participation go up so significantly in our platform.
Great points, Andy. And the one that I will add to this, and again, having been on the other side from an organizational standpoint, is dread of being in the seat that says, well, you've given us some good ideas, employees, of where we can donate, but we just can't support that. We've had to pick one, and it's going to be this particular effort. Your software and the way that it's designed takes that dilemma away, because as you shared, it's employee driven. You've got all these different options in there. Beyond that, the employee can add options that may not be in the database for whatever reason. So there's not that dread from the company side to say, oh, I'm sorry, we'd love to do that, but we can only accommodate this. Your software eliminates that dilemma.
That's right. I mean, we do also help companies just do their direct giving, just like we would help them with employees. But we know on the employee engagement, HR, culture, all the things you're trying to drive around recruiting, retention, and productivity, and engagement, and just general happiness, that if you can support employees in their personal choice, that does exactly how you described it. But it also just, I think, provides so much benefit back to the employer in terms of job satisfaction and happiness at work.
Mm-hmm. Amen to that. And that leads well into this last question, and really to wrap up our discussion today. How do you believe employee giving does impact the employee's overall job satisfaction?
We hear about it all the time, through anecdotes and so forth. And there is actually quite a bit of data out there, survey data, that talks about the power of a generosity program. And it all goes to some of the little, things that I've mentioned earlier. But, just to quote a couple of surveys, we've got a survey that says 81% of employees say that it is important to work for a company that integrates community impact into its business practices. We hear that a lot in applicants now what are we doing for the community? What kind of program do we have? We know that companies with a sort of a formal program of giving back have seen as much as 50% lower turnover rate among employees that participate in those programs. So we're starting to see hard ROI in the data where, it's actually translating into recruiting, retention, turnover, and productivity. And I just love this one. 96% of companies find that their employees who volunteer are more engaged than those who don't. And United Health Group did a study that said 76% of people who volunteered in the last 12 months said that volunteering has made them feel healthier. So we also know that volunteering is not just, going out and making care packages or building houses or so forth, but it's actually making you active. And then, as I mentioned, all those good feelings about doing something that with your teammates that's outside of the outside of the context of work, but in the context of your employment. So I guess to tie it up there, it's good for business. It's number one, it's good to do good for the community that you support. And we know that I don't want to say it in a non-authentic way, but it's a good story to tell. You get all this information through our platform. You can have pictures of your folks doing great things in the community. It is part of your brand. It's part of your identity. As I mentioned before, it's probably part of your core values. We know that it drives retention, engagement, productivity, morale, and I think all that can lead to better metrics. So it's one of the tools in the quiver, but it's a really powerful, authentic one and a really easy one to implement.
Well, folks, you can see why I was looking forward to this discussion tonight. It's one of the few topics that we'll bring up to where there's just so much positivity to it. So great discussion, Andy. I really appreciate you joining us and sharing your thoughts, insights, and wisdoms around this topic and the value your organization adds. So I really want to thank you for joining us tonight.
Well, I really appreciate you having me, Kyle. I mean, it's obvious you are very motivated by the topic and walking the talk, just like we said. So I can't tell you how much I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Great to have you. Folks, that wraps up this episode, and we're thankful you joined us today. Be sure that you like and follow the HR Kyle podcast on your favorite podcasting platform. But until next time, be sure to stay focused, stay grounded, and of course, stay tuned. Well, that's a wrap for today's episode of the HR Kyle podcast. We hope you found our discussion valuable and filled with insights that you can apply in your professional journey. Whether you're a business leader aiming to foster a thriving workplace or a job seeker looking to carve out your own path, remember that HR Kyle is the compass that can guide you towards success. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and share it with your network. We're committed to being your trusted source for HR wisdom, and we look forward to having you back with us for our next episode. Remember, in the world of HR and professional growth, there's always room for progress. Be sure to visit our website at hrkyle.com. That's hrkyle.com to learn more about how we can help you meet your business and professional goals. So until next time, this is HR Kyle signing off. Stay motivated, stay informed, and keep reaching for those career goals. Music provided by bensound.com. That's bensound.com.